Let's dwell into an unsung freedom. In this video, we dwell into the life and legacy of Veer Savarkar, a figure whose name sparks a wide array of emotions across India. Known as the father of Hindutva, Savarkar's ideology went beyond religion, emphasizing the cultural and national identity of India. He believed that anyone who considered India their ancestral land was a Hindu, irrespective of their religion. I can't help but admire the courage of a man like Savarkar. He didn't just talk about change, he took action, starting India's first secret society, Mitra Mela, which later evolved into Abhinav Bharat. He sparked a fire of revolution. I mean, when we recall the foreign clothes bonfire, it's often associated with Gandhi, right? But it was Savarkar who ignited the first student protest by burning foreign clothes back in 1905 at Ferguson College in Pune. Yet, for his bold stance, he faced consequences, getting restricted from college. But that didn't deter him, it only fueled his determination for the cause. He wrote a revolutionary book about the 1857 uprising after studying British documents. He called it the First War for Indian Independence, 1857. This book became like a Bhagavad Gita for future revolutionaries, which was unbanned by British government. Later, the edition got published with the help of Bhagat Singh. Many others like Raj Bihari Bose and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose translated it into different languages like Tamil and Japanese. It's astounding how one man's action could shake the very foundation of British rule in India. Savarkar got arrested for leading armed revolts against the British because of their implementation of certain reforms. The killing of Nasik District Magistrate A.M.T. Jackson by a member of the Abhinav Bharat Society, a group founded by Savarkar to target British officers, caused major trouble for the British. As a result, Savarkar was arrested, totaling 50 years. I mean, imagine being handed not one, but 2 life sentences. That's exactly what happened to him when he was arrested. They shipped him off to that infamous Kaala Paani prison, where they threw away the key. 50 years locked away in the depths of that hellhole, all for daring to dream of a free India. It's a testament to his unwavering commitment to the cause. Critics can be pretty harsh on Savarkar for those mercy petitions he wrote in prison. But let me tell you, Kalapani wasn't just any ordinary prison. It was a place where they didn't just lock you up, they stripped away your humanity. Prisoners endured isolation, beating, starvation, and unimaginable torture. And let me tell you, isolation was the worst of it all. It's hard to fathom what he went through just keeping the flame of freedom burning. It's just not fair when you compare Savarkar's prison experience to the comfy setups Nehruji and Gandhiji had. I mean, think about it. Nehru had everything he needed in his cell, even penning the discovery of India while he was in there. But for Savarkar, it was a whole different story. He had to resort to scratching Marathi poems onto his cell walls with nails and charcoal in that harsh Kaala Paani. And what really gets me is that none of those Congress big shots ever had to endure the brutality of Kaala Paani. It really gets to me when people label Savarkar as a traitor just because he wrote those petitions. They don't understand the dire situation he was in. sentenced for life without any chance to defend himself, enduring cruelty every single day in that cramped cell. I mean, what would they do if they were in his shoes? Savarkar went through hell and back during his 27 years of imprisonment, 12 years in Kalapani, 2 years in an Indian jail, and 13 years under house arrest. He lost his law degree and the British even seized his family's property. It's a harsh reality, but it's the kind of sacrifice many freedom fighters faced. And let's not forget, Savarkar didn't just sit around. He tried every possible legal route to get out of prison. In one of his petitions, he even suggested sacrificing his own release if it meant others could be granted amnesty. That's not the act of a traitor. That's a man dedicated to the cause and to his fellow fighters. It's pity-telling when a British officer like Reginald Gadda interviews Savarkar and finds that he's not showing an ounce of regret or repentance for what he's done. But despite that, there are still some who have the audacity to call him a coward. And get this, when Savarkar's own brothers turned to Gandhi for help, even Gandhi suggested they write a petition. It just goes to show, sometimes the truth isn't as black and white as people want it to be. It's pretty remarkable how even Gandhiji himself acknowledged how patriotic Veer Savarkar was, writing about him in his own newspaper. As it is, India is in danger of losing a faithful son unless he wakes up in time. One of the brothers I know well, I had the pleasure of meeting him in London. He's brave, he's clever, he's a patriot. He was frankly a revolutionary. Even after Savarkar was finally released from the horrors of Kaala Paani, he didn't just sit back and relax. No, he kept on fighting, quietly but fiercely for the cause. Take Durga Bhabhi's staring attack on the Lamington police station in Mumbai, for instance. Little did people know she had the backing of another follower of Savarkar. And get this, even her son was right there with Savarkar at the time. It's pretty eye-opening when even someone as prominent as Indira Gandhi, the former Prime Minister of India, has good things to say about Savarkar. I mean, imagine my surprise when I stumbled upon this gem. She actually wrote, "Viva's dying difference of the British government has its own importance in the annals of our freedom movement." When approached to celebrate his birth anniversary, it just goes to show, even those who might not agree with everything he stood for can still recognize his significance in India's struggle for freedom. It really bothers me when people label Savarkar as a traitor. I mean, let's think about it for a moment. What landed him in those Andaman jails in the first place? It was his relentless fight against the British, his constant revolutionary activities. So how come someone who's fundamentally against the British also be a sympathizer? It just doesn't add up. And here's the kicker. Even Gandhiji, the father of our nation, was released by the British without any preconditions because of his ill health. Yet, he's still hailed as a great leader. But when Savarkar's weight dropped to a mere 45 kg in Kalapani, and he dared to write a petition to escape that hellish place, suddenly he's branded a traitor? I mean, come on, where's the logic in that? It's downright disturbing to see our national heroes, our freedom fighters, being insulted and degraded for the sake of petty political gains. It's about time we give credit where it's due and respect to those who sacrificed so much for our freedom. Do you still think that our nation got independence through non-violence?